There have been reports around the office that you have been talking baby talk.
Why would people say that?
Well, I have it on good authority that you said the following. You read that back to me?
Andy have a boo-boo tummy.
Mm-hmm.
He calls turtles shell beavers.
Well, that's what they should be called.
They're green. Yeah. Beavers are brown.
Definitely, we've had this argument, and we've agreed to now talk about it in front of
But you...
It's the Al Travis Show, agreeing to disagree. We've got him. Erich Mische with S.A.V.E. Suicide Awareness Voices of Education. Love having him here every month. How's my friend Erich Mische doing today?
You know what, Al? I'm stunning. It's misting outside my office window. Spring is creeping up on us. The long, cold winter is soon to be behind us.
Creeping up. I love your use of adjectives because I don't know what it's like way up there up north, but down south here, we had a thunderstorm last night. Thunder, lightning, it was everything. And we're looking at 66 degrees on Tuesday. I don't know what creeping up on you means, but the grass is going to turn.
Well, I will tell you this, the biggest downside for me is that my allergies are going to emerge like somebody took 2 pine trees and shoved them up my nose. Right? And,
it's horrible for people with allergies.
The other downside is as the snow melts, and I live in a cul-de-sac, and of course the cul-de-sac part that we live in, the sun doesn't shine on our part of the yard until like June, right?
Yeah.
Now, saying that, what's happening with the rain now is that all of my dog's business that she did all throughout the winter is now starting to populate my front yard. And
that was last weekend. All the snow got off the ground, and I'm out there picking up Duke stuff all weekend long because it's like that dog does that a lot all winter. It's amazing.
And you sit there and as I'm thinking about it, then you reflect back and you're like, oh, I guess there could be that much out there.
Yeah, you think about what happens in 4 months' time? Yeah, okay, I can get it, but it's a lot. All right, I'm in a weird spot today with you.
Okay.
I've been talking a lot, all day so far, and yesterday and the last couple of weeks, how thoroughly upset I am with the route Minnesota is going. We let money fly out the door. It doesn't seem, and I'll use it. We saw the governor and the lieutenant governor on nationwide TV yesterday. You watched the House stuff and the Senate stuff in the state yesterday, and it's a whole lot of people saying nothing I can do about it. You know, it just is what it is. And I think to myself about that money, and I know Erich Mische's coming on the program. I would suggest if we could save 1% of what we seem to let slide through our fingers and give it to Erich Mische, we'd get something positive out of it. We'd get some real movement. Just 1% of if it's $9 billion, I think Erich Mische would take it and do really good stuff with it. But we don't give it to Erich Mische because it's going out the back door. That's frustrating to me.
Yeah. So first, I don't want the money, so don't give it to me. If you want,
if you want
to give it to my organization.
Okay.
I want to be clear. So
okay.
So let me first start by saying this. You know, I spent, as you and I have talked about, I spent most of my life and career in government politics and public policy before I got into the nonprofit world. And I jokingly tell people that the penance that I'm paying for all those years in government politics is now being in the nonprofit world.
Yeah.
As a taxpayer, as a citizen, as a nonprofit leader, you know, I look at those stories, I look at those allegations, and it's frustrating and it's angering, right? You can't just go, well, it's not that bad. It's like, well, you know what? It is that bad. Now, to the extent of what it is, I don't know, but to the extent that we err on the low side of it, nobody should be happy about that. Nobody should be willing to accept that. And not just in Minnesota, but again, even nationally, right? And the reality is that the amount of money that is wasted, that taxpayer money that gets wasted because of waste, fraud, and abuse, right? At every level of government is simply inexcusable. And the truth of the matter is that there are controls, right? So this idea that there were no controls, that there were no kind of backstop and stuff like that, simply not true. Now, whether people who were empowered to implement those controls and backstops did their job, that's another question, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't care if you're liberal or conservative, Democrat or Republican.
Yep.
Nobody should be happy with that, because at the end of the day, the people that suffer the most from that are the people who can least afford the impact of that kind of waste, fraud, and abuse.
Exactly.
So if you are someone who believes strongly that we should have a social safety net for people in society, as I do,
Yep.
you should not be happy that money that could have been invested in that safety net is no longer there, right?
Yep.
If you are someone who believes we should have a strong defense and that we should ensure that we have strong, law enforcement and public safety, you should be angry that that money that could have gone into those places is simply not there. So, as somebody who again, I think I'm pretty moderate, middle of the road fellow today in my life, right? I look at that and I go, it's not that complicated. It's not that difficult, right? So
I find yourself.
I'm trying to find the soapbox that I can step off of.
I find your self-examination interesting. You can talk to the farthest left winger ever or the farthest right winger, I'm pointing at me, and we all think we're moderate. I just don't understand why the rest of you don't understand me. You might actually be the most moderate guy I know, but we all think we are. I'm a far right wing knucklehead. I know it, but I just don't understand why you don't understand that's the middle of the road. I don't. Let me throw this at you. This is the second thing that bothered me, and I thought about you when it was happening. This week we did a lot of stuff on AI. There was a lot of stuff at the Capitol. What we can and can't do, and the guys are up there all saying, it's not our fault. We have a age thing. You have to tell us you're 18 or you can't get on, and kids just lie. You've been fighting this battle. You've been wanting to say, hey, there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet that does not help our children, and I'm with you 100%. But this is why I think you're probably a right-wing knucklehead like me. This is why I don't think it goes anywhere. These people have all the money, they have all the power, and they got all the lawyers, they got all the money, they're donated to both the right and the left. The fight you have is hard. But it hit in Minnesota this week as well. A bill came up of the thing about you have to be 18 to get to pornography. And I get it. I don't know how to tell you what pornography is, but I'll tell you when I see it. That's how old I mean, that old adage. Mm-hmm. So I get that's going to be hard. But we literally had somebody come on and say, well, that's how some people figure out about sex. That's exactly the point. I don't want some producer in Hollywood making porn movies teaching kids what's normal or not. I think that's exactly why we want it stopped. But if we can't agree on that, sir, where do you go? AI right now, if you type the wrong thing in on Facebook, they're going to check you out. You can't share that to your fact check, and yet you can't tell me what child porn is? I don't believe it. And we're arguing about it. I don't know how you win this fight.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, knucklehead is a good description of me, so thank you for that. So,
you use that all the time. I always have. I'm a knucklehead. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Did I call you a knucklehead? Okay.
I think that's apt and appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Al, one of my team members was out in D.C. this week with a bunch of parents who have lost kids to the harms of social media and AI, right? They were out there because they were trying to make sure that bills that were coming through the U.S. House Energy Commerce Committee had the strongest possible protections for kids and parents. And what came out of that committee was a bill that, just as easily big tech and AI companies could have written, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you've got these parents who have suffered extraordinary loss and trauma, who have dedicated themselves to trying to protect other kids who are out there being pummeled by millions of dollars of influence of big tech and AI companies, okay?
Yep.
That influence filters down here in Minnesota as well, right? We've got a bill that we're supporting right now in the Minnesota legislature that would require that schools not have cell phones in the classroom during academic time, right? I will tell you that phone companies and others are going to fight that bill like nobody's business, right?
Yep.
We have a bill that we've been working on that just got introduced by Representative Peggy Scott that would prohibit the use of AI chatbots for therapy, right?
There you
I
go.
will guarantee you that big tech and AI companies are going to come out of the woodwork to pummel that bill from passing. Okay. So when you talk about those things that you're frustrated about in terms of why can't we just do this? Of course, we should be able to do this. The response that I have to you is, of course, we should be able to do this. We can do this. Big tech and AI can do these things. Here's the dirty little secret.
Okay.
They don't want to.
Yeah. See, let that hang there for people. They don't want to. They're going to tell you we're all about kids. We aren't trying to get them hooked on the device. And then at the same time, they're going to show you how if it dings enough time in your pocket, the kid has to look, and it just how many hours they send me, how many hours I'm on my stuff every week. Like, okay. But my point is they don't want it. You're right. They don't want it. And there aren't enough people in the right positions to stand up and say, I'm just going to do the right thing. And that's why this is hard. I'm an old man. I get it. And my vote only means, who I vote for. I don't get to make that call. But to me, if enough old men got together and said, we know what's right and wrong, let's just do that.
You're 100% right and 100% right. And the people who have the ability and the influence and power could fix this if they wanted to. They just don't want to. And the argument, one argument, that I will tell you that I'm extremely frustrated by, we've talked about this before, is that with AI, the leadership, the federal government has made it clear they want no guardrails on AI. They don't want states passing legislation that would regulate it, right?
Yeah.
I think that idea that we allow AI to expand and populate exponentially without reining it in to protecting all of us, right?
Yeah.
The issues that you raised, I think is an abomination of public policy. And frankly, the harms that we saw from social media are going to pale in comparison to the harms by AI.
Thank you. I've got to go to break. I completely agree with you. I don't think the harm of the jobs that will be lost, people will do different jobs in the future. I completely believe that. But you name the one thing we let just take off on its own with no guardrails that ended up in a positive sense. Yep. I can't think of one. We go to a break. We'll be back after this. We'll find out what S.A.V.E. is doing for us. Suicide Awareness, Voices of Education on the Al Travis Show.
Chanhassen Dinner Theatres proudly presents Guys and Dolls, packed with comedy, romance, dazzling dance numbers, and unforgettable characters. This Tony Award-winning Best Musical takes you from the gritty streets of New York to the colorful cafes of Havana. It's a high-rolling musical spectacular everyone will love. Don't wait. Visit chanhassendt.com and grab your tickets today. Guys and Dolls, Chanhassen Dinner Theatres, always entertaining you.
Every year, countless lives are lost to suicide, but it doesn't have to be this way. There's hope, and there's help. S.A.V.E, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, is working to prevent suicide through education, training, advocacy, and support for suicide loss survivors. S.A.V.E, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, wants you to know that you can save a life. S.A.V.E.org.
There's never a good time for car trouble, especially when you've got places to be. Whether it's a mysterious rattle under the hood or just time for that routine oil change, you need a mechanic you can trust. That's where Jay's Auto in Blue Earth comes in. From strange noises to engine diagnostics, Jay and his team provide honest service at a fair price. They're proud to keep their neighbors on the road safely season after season. Don't wait for a breakdown. Stop at Jay's Auto today or call 525-1052.
friends. The Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
It's the Al Travis Show. We've got him in here. Erich Mische, the big guy at S.A.V.E, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education. I'd like to throw this out here. Feeling a little something? You want a little help? You know someone that needs a little help? You'd like help helping them? 988. You can text it or call it 988. And that ties us into the big deal. What I find out fun about you is you almost never just ask for money, Erich. You're just like, well, no, you do something for money. You got golf tournaments. You got this, you got that. You have this big bright night thing coming up, which is off the charts, going to be entertaining. But you get that for the donation you feel comfortable with. You're not good at it. It's not like just send me $10,000. It's not who you are. You got to give people something. I like it. It's nice about you. You're like a cupcake salesman. Want to buy a cupcake for $1?
I'll give you two.
Yeah.
I'll give you two. So we have our big bright night celebration. First ever time that we've done this. It's April 11th at the Fillmore in Minneapolis. As you shared, we are tying general admission pricing to $988. General admission ticket is $9.88 or $98.88 or a table of 10 for $988.88 or whatever you think you can afford. Our goal for this event is to bring Minnesotans together as an opportunity to gather as a community, to learn about our work, to gather with one another at a time in which all of us have been really stressed out for a lot of reasons, right? Yeah. And this event is a chance for S.A.V.E to talk about our work, but not in a 6-hour sit-down, seated, plated gala. None of us have got time for that. So it's an event that's going to be high energy. There'll be lots of music. There'll be a lot of stuff that you can be a part of. But this is not something where you're going to come and have to listen to me give a speech for an hour. I think they've given me all of like 3.5 minutes for the entire evening. So if you're interested, go to S.A.V.E.org. $9.88 gets you in the door, gets you food from Chow Girls Catering, gets you Des from the KS95 Morning Show, who lost her brother to suicide, who's our MC. Nationally recognized award-winning comedian Comrade Tripp, multi-platinum international recording artist Orianthi, who's played with Michael Jackson, who's played with
everybody.
Carlos Santana. I mean, is an off-the-hook, incredible talent. So it's going to be a fun night. You're going to learn a few things. You're going to get a chance to have some good food, entertainment. Go to S.A.V.E.org. It's bright night. General admission tickets start at $9.88.
All right. So, again, go to S.A.V.E.org. Go to the events tab. It's the first one up there. It's coming up in April. And what I mean by that is you just look at the events. If you're a golfer, if you're a runner, it doesn't matter. Something is coming up that you will make special so they can help, give and help your cause. I just love that about it. It's not just a give me money kind of thing. It's like, we're going to give you something to understand this is going to be a great night. I hope this is the first of many. This thing sounds fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it's always one of one until it catches on, but I think this could be huge.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We have a date already set for next year that we'll share the evening of the event. So we're thinking we're going to continue to this. So be great fun. S.A.V.E.org. Come learn about Bright Night. Better yet, come join us.
S.A.V.E.org. Go there, check them out. I appreciate you, sir. Really do.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you've done.
Take care.
Yep. It's Erich Mische with S.A.V.E. S.A.V.E.org. Remember, 988 if you need any help.
If you could save a life, would it be worth